Does anyone know or met someone who has Alzheimer's disease? Well, I'll let you know that it's a very common disease that worldwide is able to affect everyone, including us. The information about Alzheimer's disease is a topic that I have extensive research on about. It's a very common disease and has ways to affect yours and everyone else's lives and their behaviors. I'm going to talk about what Alzheimer's is, the cause and symptoms of it, and how to deal with some of it. I'll start with the first stage of what it is. If you didn't know, Alzheimer's is an irreversible progressive brain disorder that slowly destroys memory and thinking skills and eventually the ability to carry out simple tasks. If you didn't know, it's a type of dementia, and dementia is a general term for a decline in memory of mental ability severe enough to interfere with the daily life. Memory loss, an example. We all have memory loss, for example, like studying the night of the test or something, the next day you go to the test, you forget everything. That's the type of memory loss I have. Or even for speeches too, you have memory loss for that. There are different stages of Alzheimer's. You can get any age after the age of 16. Anyone under the age of 65 has something called early onset Alzheimer's, but also known as younger onset Alzheimer's. But the greatest risk factor it has that increases with age. So that, just say, if I had it at the age of 27, by the time I'm 67, it progressively increases to the point where I might forget to say all of you guys for the next time I see you. Well, according to U.S. National Library of Medicine National Institute of Health, approximately 10% of people over age 70 have years of significant memory loss, and more than half of those individuals have Alzheimer's disease. Also, an estimated 25-45% of people over age 85 have dementia. Now we know what Alzheimer's is. Let's learn about the symptoms about it so we can be able to identify the disease. As our body ages over time, so does our brain. We notice little differences about ourselves, but we don't know how severe they could be. The most common symptoms, as I said earlier, is memory loss. People who have disease may find it hard to recognize new information because Alzheimer's affects the part of the brain that affects learning. Also, they begin to have mood and behavior changes as it progresses. So as I said earlier, just say you have a friend who has Alzheimer's. One day they might see you, interact with you normally, and then the next day they might see you, they might think you as a stranger because they might forget who you are. And then as it goes on and worse, they might forget who you are in total entirety. Now we know what it is and how to identify it, we can learn on how to support those in need of help. People that have disease need our full support and attention. According to my research, Matthew Kaw, one of the authors of U.S. National Library of Medicine National Institute of Health, stated that Alzheimer's disease causes a high burden of morbidity and mortality in the United States. Morbidity is the condition of being diseased, and the mortality is the state of being subject to death. They projected through the data that Alzheimer's disease and related dementia will be affecting over 13.9, almost 14 million by the time 2060 comes. That's a lot of people because there's, I don't know how many people in the world, but that's a lot, as it was, because it can be passed down through genetics or just getting it or just affecting you randomly. You have to be understanding and careful when being around those who have disease because, for an example, my grandparents on my mom's side has Alzheimer's. They started to have Alzheimer's because when I was a kid, I used to go there every day after school, hanging out with them, making sure I was there. But then as high school came along, I got more and more busy with work, school, and then responsibilities. By one time I came there by myself. They thought I was a stranger, so they started calling the police. But luckily, I managed to calm them down, and I called my mom to tell them, because they speak another language, they can't understand English that well, to make sure, my mom, make sure that's your grandson, not a stranger, bring into your house, stealing you, gonna rob you. And then also, my friend also has a type of dementia, as I said earlier. He had it when he was 18, and then now he's 27, and then I tried hanging out one time. He totally forgot who I was. So then I had to bring pictures, make sure, hey, this is me. I hung out with you. I'm not some random guy trying to get to know you. I'm not trying to get your social security number. Don't worry, I'm here to enjoy your time. Now you know what Alzheimer's disease is, the symptoms, and how to support people with it. Because just always remember, try to be there with people before they forget who you are. Because it's important that You want to be there before it's too late and you can't make a difference. Because without memory, there is no culture. Without memory, there be no civilization, no society, and no future. By Elie Wiesel.